And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review, and this is of Barnyard, movie released back in 2006, starring Kevin James as the Otis the cow, and culturally iconic for one of the greatest memes on the Pringles Center Discord server, perhaps. Um, and known for a lot of other funny stuff too. But as a critical look, how do we think of this movie? I had never actually seen this movie in full before. I'd seen clips of it online, and I've seen the show that came after the movie called Back at the Barnyard on Nickelodeon. I thought it was an alright show. How did the movie that stemmed the show stack? Let me first say, this is a funny movie, but it's not a great movie. It's like a funny bad movie. It's definitely enjoyable, but it's hard to call this a good movie just because it's enjoyable. And you could say that about a lot of movies, especially ones that we've seen, that I've reviewed here on the channel. There's a lot of them there. It's funny bad. That's what we could say there. Part of that's the weird animation style that the show also took on. And there's a lot of instances of that across other things. This is a Nickelodeon Paramount collaboration movie sort of thing. But you can see it out of DreamWorks. You can see it not really in Pixar. They've done a good job evolving. But it's 2006, so you have to think it's going to be kind of that 3D, but not like trying to be realistic, more like a animation claymation sort of thing. It feels like more of a claymation thing, but it's really animation, and it gets that, you know what I'm talking about. Shrek has it, Cars has it, a lot of the movies during that time have it. Barnyard's a little bit more discreet and a little more distinct than the other ones because it's a little more thick than the other ones. But a lot of the animation style here, it probably worked in 2006 when this movie came out, but here in 2023, 17 years later, which is really weird to think about, it does not really fit. It does not really work, I should say. And it hits harder nowhere else than the antagonists of this movie, the coyotes, especially Dag, the main coyote. I don't know, they all just, I know they're supposed to look hungry. I know they're supposed to look like very sharp teeth and claws and stuff like that. They go a little overboard with it, and they're supposed to look skinny, so it looks like they're hungry, and that's why they're hunting at the farm. But it looks like it's just a little overdone. It doesn't look, it doesn't make them look intimidating per se. It just makes them look goofy. It makes them look silly. It just makes them look like cartoon characters instead of like movie villains. And I guess they put the most effort into their protagonists, which were the cows. All of them looked pretty good, except for the Heir of the Udders. Don't know why they did that, especially with Otis. But I guess that's part of the lore of this movie, because there's a subliminal message, not so subliminal message, I guess it is, when Ben and Otis are talking on the hillside, that Otis is trans. What? That was a little out of nowhere. But okay, sure. I guess that clears that story up. A lot of people have been, that's a big conversation topic about this movie, about Otis having another. Guess it works. Congratulations. The movie was pretty good at being progressive. And another thing about the animation, the motion scenes, there's a lot of, they do a lot of transitions between like scenes in the movie where it'll be like this POV shot, and you'll be like speeding through like the field or the sky or through a building or whatnot, to transition, and it's just jank. A lot of it's just jank. It makes you feel like you're on a roller coaster. It might make you feel a little nauseous, especially because you're going through fields like big hills and stuff. There's a lot of moving up and down and whatnot. Those definitely could have been done a little bit better. They weren't done horribly, especially with what they were given, but it definitely could have been done a little bit better. And of course, there's a lot of pop culture references in this movie, especially during the opening party scene in the movie. I mean, how many can I think of? There's the KFC with the chicken throwing darts at the KFC guy. They got the pizza guy stereotype. They got a lot of songs that they parody. And of course the Moto phones and stuff with the Gophers. And there's a lot of stuff, like lots of modern references, some of which held up. Of course, the KFC one holds up. Some of them did not. The Moto phone thing did not hold up because of the iPhone that came out a year later after this movie came out. So that's pretty outdated. There's a few other things, they're just okay. And then I think with the scene that a lot of people talk about in this movie a lot as being like some of the best scene in the movie, and that's Ben's death scene when he fights the coyotes and then dies. And I gotta say, that scene as its own scene plays out very well. I think it's definitely one of the better ones in the movie. I don't know if it's the best, though I would call it one of the best, if not the best. It's a very emotional scene because Ben's always been seen as like this rock character in the farm and holding everything together and being like the stronghold, and he single-handedly fights all these coyotes and takes them out and makes them run away and whatnot and saves the hens, and then he dies. And it's supposed to be a pretty emotional scene. The problem is it's just the fights and stuff are cut between the party. And the party has the vibe of being goofy with all the pop culture stuff, with all the funny songs and the music and the dancing and the drunkenness and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of loses its emotion. So the Ben death scene kind of feels like emotionless. Of kind of like loses its what its purpose was supposed to be. I don't know really how else they could have set it up. They didn't set it up horribly. I don't know. I guess they could have done the whole party scene and then done Ben's death scene and then cut back to when the 10 run to the barn to find Otis or whatever. I don't know. I guess I know why they did that. But like, it could have been done a little bit better. Is what I have to say there. And yeah, but then they do a nice emotional piece afterwards when he gets buried and they find him and whatnot. So at least they do that. But overall, though, my final thoughts on this movie, like I said, it's supposed to be funny bad. It was definitely laughable, but was it a good movie? No. My final score for Barnyard is probably going to be a 6 out of 10 again. Because they did get a good laugh. There were some funny moments with memes. The songs are good too. I think have Mr. Bombastic, and then there was more. Of course, Won't Back Down from Ben before he dies, and then they played again at the end of the movie. That's really it though. But they were all right. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. So my final score again, 6 out of 10. Have you ever seen Barnyard? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section down below. And stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more movie reviews and everything. Just let me know your thoughts about this one, though. Till next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.